Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to be talking about my budget for January 2025. As I'm recording this is the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is always a little bit of a funny time of year, a week where you don't know what to do or how to handle yourself. So I think doing your budget and going through your budget and solidifying your expectations for January is a great way to start the new month and to start the new year. So as a little bit of a refresher about me, I am 34 years old. I'm living in Dubai. I am a salaried employee in the hospitality industry. I live here with my partner. So all of the figures that you see on my spreadsheet for rent and utilities are all my portion. Our finances are not combined. So we do structure and budget everything separately. This is actually the second version of my January budget. The first one I did was very close to like a standard budget for me. And then very recently I decided I wanted to move into the new year as a low buy month. I don't want to try a no buy month because I don't want to restrict myself and I don't want to get into that negative mindset, which I've done to myself before. So we're going to focus on a low buy. You'll see some things in my budget that maybe don't make sense for you on a low buy, but for my own habits and for my own standards, this is what is considered a low buy month. So that is my first goal. There's a chance that this might transition into a low buy first quarter. I haven't decided yet. I kind of want to see how January goes, how I feel about things. While I do have good goals, I have strong goals that I want to achieve throughout the year. I also don't want to feel like I'm restricting myself too much because I know once you pull that rubber band back, it has a tendency to snap back and then overspend. So low buy for now, we'll see how we go. My second goal for January is actually YouTube related. I have a video coming out on this very soon, but I've been wanting to do something like this for a really long time. And now that I've started, I want to make sure that I have the momentum to keep going. So my second goal is to upload 4 videos in January. That will be 1 per week. I haven't decided on a schedule. I haven't really mastered anything. I'm just kind of going how I go, and hopefully by the end of January, I will have these initial videos plus 4 additional. Okay, so let's jump into the budget. The template that you are seeing on screen is an old version from Debt Free Millennials. Justine is the host over there. She's been one of my inspirations in getting started in this. It's a very simple, very straightforward sort of budget, which is exactly what I needed when I needed it. She has an updated version now, which looks beautiful, but this is what I'm using at the moment. So let's jump into the actual budget. You can see on here that I have both my dirham amount plus my US converted dollar amount. I know a lot of people that I follow are in the States or in Canada, so I thought it might be interesting to kind of see what my actual conversions are. So I have both numbers on there. Because I'm here in Dubai, I do operate with dirhams. I get paid in dirhams, I pay my bills in dirhams, so that is what I'm budgeting on, and then the other number is just converted. So the first line item on there is my rent. The structure over here is a little bit funny. I pay my rent in 3 checks throughout the year, so we pay 4 months at a time, but rather than spending a majority of 1 paycheck on 4 months of rent, I deduct 1 month from my salary every single month and put it into a savings account until I have to actually pay for it. So my rent per month works out to be 3,250 dirhams, which is $884.84. Again, that is my portion of the rent. DEWA, which is electricity and water, I have budgeted 250 for my portion, which is 6806. This is pretty much standard throughout the year for me. Internet, we are on an introductory rate at the moment. I'm expecting it to be about 140 dirhams, which is about $38. Again, that is my portion. Because this is a new service for us, it hasn't been exactly this, so that might be something that is a little bit more or a little bit less. We pay for our gas in our home. We have a gas stove that's usually 50 dirhams a month, which is $13.61. Next is our chiller. Chiller is air conditioning over here. It's a separate service. It's not included in your electricity bill. I have budgeted 170 dirhams for that, which is $46. Even when it's off, there is still a fee. So we aren't really using the air conditioning really because it's winter time. But there is still some things that accrue on that. Next, I have my car payment. I do have a car that I have financed. It's at a super low interest rate, so I'm not really aggressively paying it off. My car payment per month is 982 dirhams, which is $267, which is pretty reasonable considering percentage of my salary. Next, we have car tolls and extras. So this is the SALIC, which is how Dubai registers tolls throughout the city. This is also paying for parking. This is if there's any tickets that come through, which hopefully there won't be, and there hasn't been for a long time, but you never know. Everything like that is in this section. So I've budgeted 250, but now that I'm thinking about it, that might need to go up a little bit. There's been a new toll that's been put in on my route from home to work, and obviously work to home. So last month it was a little bit higher than I expected, so I might need to increase that a little bit. My next line item is grocery and toiletries. I do keep these together because I buy them from the same place and it's just simpler for me. I have that at 1,200 dirhams, which is $326-ish. Because I work in a restaurant, I don't have to buy 3 meals a day for myself, which is why I can keep my food budget pretty low. Yes, I could probably keep that lower, but this also includes a lot of convenience items. Because I'm super busy, I like things that are easy for me. So yeah, 1,200 dirhams should do it there. And then the last line item in my fundamentals, which is my non-negotiables, is Jasper, which is our cat. I have him at 120 dirhams, which is about $32.67. Again, that is my portion. That's another thing that my partner and I split. That is just basics as well. That is food and litter. I usually, let's be honest, there's usually a toy in there as well, but I can usually keep that around 120 dirhams. After that, we are moving into the fun portion of the budget. I love the way that Justine has divided these, where I have all the essentials, I have the extras that I prefer to spend on, and then as we get lower, we'll go into the future accounts. But in the fun, I start with restaurants. So this is anything that I'm actually going out to consume. So this includes actually going out for restaurants, grabbing a lunch on the go. This is coffee shops, anything like that. I want to keep that at 150 dirhams, which is about $41. This is significantly lower than what I usually allow myself. Because we're in Dubai, we want to be experiencing a lot of it. So I usually allow myself quite a good budget where this is concerned. But yeah, I want to keep this as part of my low buy month. This category is going to be mostly where you see the impact of a low buy month for me. Next line item is delivery. So I know most people will keep that included in restaurants, but I like to divide it out because it is something that I use differently in my life. Delivery here in Dubai is literally a way of life. You can get anything delivered over here and it's so convenient, and I have definitely made a habit of taking advantage of that. So again, this is a much lower number than what I would normally have. I have it set at 150 dirhams. This is a big area where I went back and forth, where I should just budget it at 0, but I know if I do, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing something. And I think the way to make progress is by making smaller steps. Rather than saying from 400 to 0, I now have from 400 to something that is significantly less, but is way more manageable. So I've got that at 150 dirhams as well. After that, I have my personal personal and miscellaneous. I have that set at 200. This is a little bit different from how I used to do it. I used to keep my gym and my fitness in that as well. So there is still some money to play around with, but I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't really have anything that I need to buy. I don't anticipate anything, but there are always things that come up. The next one is Netflix. I have that set at 45 dirhams. I am still using, oddly enough, the Australian account. I pay for it in dirhams. I pay with my UAE card, but it fluctuates a little bit because I'm paying for the Australian Netflix in Emirati currency. So it's about 45, but it could be a little bit more, a little bit less. Next, I have split out my gym and class pass. Like I said, I used to have that in my personal spending, but for the new year, I've decided to split that out. I have actually upped this from the previous, my previous subscriptions. I've been using it a lot, and it's something that I like to use. I think I'm happy investing in my health and my wellness. So this is gyms and classes and that sort of stuff. And I plan to spend 309 dirhams on that based on the subscription that I've already agreed to, which is about $84. After that, we do have some planned travel spending. I don't want to use my sinking fund for this, so this is built right into my budget. We're going to be buying flights for Dublin. We're planning to go in March, so that is about 2,000 dirhams. I'm hoping the prices will go down a little bit, but we're looking at about 2,200 right now, which is about $544. All right, the next line item is miscellaneous. I usually keep this very low. This is the line that I use to make a zero-based budget. So basically whatever I have left at the end is what goes into my miscellaneous. This month was 40 dirhams and 30 cents, which is about $10 or $11. And then into our future section. I haven't been adding money into my emergency fund since I think May of last year. But one of my first goals that I want to be tackling this year is to add an additional 10,000 dirhams. So that is one of the top line items there. This month I plan to add 1,800 dirhams, which is about $490. I think that's a good start for the first month. The next line item is to my US accounts. I'll break that down a little bit further later for where the money is going to go, but I'm going to send 3,644 dirhams and 20 cents, which is, once everything is deducted and sent and converted, is $975. And then the next four line items are basically just sinking funds. I want to make sure that they're A, open, and B, they have a little bit being contributed to every single month. So the first one already exists, but I want to add 100 dirhams into that. That is my house fund. The goal for that this year is 20,000, but like I said, emergency fund first, and then we'll focus on that. The car fund also already exists. I just opened that in December, but I'd like to add another 100 dirhams there. Fund, I need to open. That will be another 100 dirhams, and then gifts fund is kind of my least priority, so I just want to make sure it's open, and I'm going to put 50 dirhams in it just to make sure that there's a little bit in there and I know it exists. In total, that is 15,400 dirhams. My salary that I expect every single month is 15,000 dirhams. I am anticipating an extra 400 based on our bonus scheme that we have at work. That is the minimum that I'm expecting. There is a chance that it could be more than that, but I like to budget on the minimum. Other additional income that I will be expecting throughout the month will be my interest from my savings accounts. I only count the ones that I have here in Dubai. I add that into my income so that I can direct it to my savings. So it stays in my savings, but I do like to make sure I'm tracking that. And then also my credit card cashback, that gets deposited into my account every single month, and I also put that directly to savings. All right, scrolling over a little bit here, I have the breakdown of what I send to my US accounts. So like I said, I will be sending $975. The way that I'll be breaking that up this month will be $500 to my Roth IRA. Will be my first contribution for 2025. If I want to divide it equally amongst 12 months, I should be sending a little bit more, but I am also saving for some vacations that are happening in the first half of the year. So I've got $500 going to the Roth IRA, nothing going to the brokerage account. I've got $10 that are going to be staying in the savings account that I use as like my transfer account. Eventually this will go towards, I pay my taxes out of that account, which is usually about $300. So I like to just keep a few extra dollars in there every month. And then the last one that I am planning to fund is my vacation fund. Like I said, a few things happening in the first half of the year. So $450 will be going into that account. And that's a high yield savings account that I have over there in the States. There is $15 of transaction fees. It's a wire fee that I get from Bank of America. This is the best way that I've found to transfer money. It's the cheapest way. I've tried a couple of different ways, but this is what's been working for me right now. So, well, it sucks. It is just part of the game when you're living in another country. And then down here at the bottom, I also have some notes. At the start of the month, we are planning on buying our flights for Ireland. That's already included in the budget. To open the sinking funds, which I've already discussed, and to do a low by month, which this is just something to remind me to keep this in mind as I go throughout the month. I will check in with this as much as I need, or as much as I want. I will keep up with it at least week by week. And yeah, the notes are there to remind me of my goals. As we get closer to the end of the month, I'll add any thoughts that I have for the end of the month and anything for the next month. But February feels so far away right now that I have no notes for that. We'll get there when we get there. And that is the budget for January of 2025. Yeah, a little bit intimidated by going way lower on some of my spending categories, but I think it's going to be something that's really good for me. It will keep me a little bit more home, but I'm cool with that. You know, I've got books loaded up from the library. I've got my gym access all sorted, so it's just going to be a focus on me, focus on spending time with myself and keeping myself occupied in ways I don't spend money. And yeah, I'd love to hear your comments on what you think of my budget, whether you think I'm insane for keeping delivery in my low buy or not. I think that might be something that people disagree with, but like I said, works for me. I'd love to hear from other people who are planning a low buy. I know this is something that's really common in the beginning of the year. I will be watching all of the videos on YouTube as well to get inspiration and to get some motivation and also some free content, of course. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we will check in with this at the end of the month. Bye.